Teenagers live in a world of their own. A world summed up best with one word.
Whatever.
Today's teens are portrayed as moody, lazy, oversexed, binge-drinking risk-takers. So what's changed? Are teens just designed to defy? Or is this a new teen order? In this program, we look at binge drinking, a harmless rite of passage, or a health crisis. It's not just a social debate, it's now a scientific one. Teens may think they're indestructible, but the latest evidence is proving otherwise.
The earlier a child is exposed to alcohol, the more risk later of a series of damages.
Forget the hangover, it's permanent brain damage we should be worried about.
Alcohol is the most socially accepted drug in the Western world. And adolescence is a time when most of us start experimenting with it. But the latest science suggests that teen drinking, at a party like this, can have an effect long after the party's over.
It's a teen topic which has got the whole nation talking.
Binge drinking.
Binge drinking.
Teenage drinking.
Underage drinking. More often and at a younger age.
Widespread news coverage on the issue of teen drinking has made binging a hot political issue.
Frankly, I think it's got out of control.
But this isn't just media hype.
There are a number of regions in the brain which are very susceptible to the effects of alcohol, and young people seem to be more susceptible than adults.
The adolescent brain is designed for learning, but the same adaptability that helps it grow also makes it especially vulnerable to the damaging effects of alcohol. Within minutes of taking the first swig, it begins to have an impact. Alcohol is water-soluble, so it moves through the bloodstream and around the body quickly. The central nervous system is affected, which can result in slurred speech, blurred vision, and loss of balance. And when enough alcohol reaches the frontal lobes of our brains, our powers of reason go out the window. In this episode, we'll dissect the lives of 3 young drinkers. They've also put their hands up to be guinea pigs in our experiments.
5, 4, 3.
It's a fact that teens can drink a lot more than adults before they get sleepy. For Liam, this just makes him feel bulletproof.
I'm drinking what I want to drink. Maybe I drink a little bit more than you do, but I know I can handle my alcohol.
Alcoholics aren't just old men in parks. Many scientists now believe that the seeds of addiction are sown in our teen years. Just ask Christian.
I was an alcoholic from the age of 14. It was harmless for me until I was sitting in a cell with a police officer telling me that I'm looking at going down for murder.
With a little guidance from Mum and Dad, Henry seems to be learning to drink responsibly. But could this kind of education come at a price? When he's with his mates, Henry still has the occasional binge.
I think of myself as a responsible drinker, but just like everyone else, I have times where I drink too much.
It was savagely called the 6 o'clock pig swill.
For years, binge drinking has been a part of our history and culture.
February the 1st, 1955 is BE Day, Beer in the Evening Day, and there is much rejoicing in the land.
From the rum-sodden days of the early colonies to the 6 o'clock swill. And now with 24-hour licensing, it's clear we've always had a big thirst. Some think the recent attack on binge drinking is just a new form of wowserism. With this in mind, the latest crop of Aussie drinkers may not be too happy to give up the goon just yet. Although now of legal age, Liam's been doing his best to keep alive the tradition of binging since he was 15. Before Liam gets bogged down in adulthood, he reckons this is the time to do his best drinking.
I want to have as much fun as I can. You got nothing to worry about when you're this young. Might as well get pissed, have fun.
Come Friday evening, it's slab time. For Liam, the drunker he gets, the better the night.
Binge drinking's just having a good night out. Like, not all of us can drink during the week, so when we do drink, we're going to make sure it's a big night.
It's all fun and games till someone loses a liver. The government definition of binge drinking is more than 4 drinks in a sitting. On a big night out, Liam boasts of drinking more than 7 times that limit. But how is it that binge drinking beginners like Liam can drink so much and still be standing?
No share for this one.
Science has shown that adults and teens react to alcohol differently. Teens are a lot less sensitive to the sedative effects of drinking, which means they can drink a lot more without falling over or falling asleep.
One of the problems is that teens drink so much that they don't realise that it's having such an effect on them. There are no warning signs that they really need to reduce the amount they're drinking.
That was good.
As a result, we often end up with problems. There can be fights, there can be problems with regretted sex. We know a lot of injuries occur, and this becomes part of the culture of teen drinking.
Liam's ability to drink so much without getting drowsy allows him to continue well past the limit of what's safe. But if he feels fine, how can he be expected to know when enough is enough? To see what we can find out, we're heading to our whatever laboratory to conduct an experiment.
Drowsiness is like an inbuilt warning system telling us to stop drinking. But teens seem to sleep through the alarm. But is it a case of not knowing when to stop or not wanting to stop? Well, under lab conditions, we're throwing a party to see the different effects that alcohol has on teens and adults. And in the name of science, I'm putting up my hand again.
Professor John Toombaroo is a founding member of the College of Health Psychologists. He's been studying the effects of alcohol on teenagers for nearly 20 years.
I think one of the problems as a teen is that when you're drinking a lot, you don't really realise the damage that it's doing. There's not the internal signs to tell you, maybe it's time to slow down and moderate your drinking.
The point of the experiment is to observe and record how alcohol affects Liam and I differently, if it does at all. We have to consume one standard drink every 15 minutes, a total of 12 drinks in 3 hours. Every hour, our lab assistant will be testing our coordination, reaction times, and cognitive functioning.
This one, I'm going to show you your shape.
Yep.
And then you're going to draw it for me. Got it?
Yep.
Big tick.
Before we start drinking, our baseline performance is recorded at a 0 blood alcohol level.
Take a deep breath and blow in. Okay.
John will be observing from the sidelines. He's especially interested in seeing how Liam and I feel the alcohol's affecting us. So we'll be regularly asked to assess our own level of sedation.
Okay, so we've got passed out, drowsy,
Yep.
low energy, normal, buzzed or charging.
I'd have to say buzzed.
And Steve?
I'm above normal without being charging. You know?
Buzzed as
Buzzed. Buzzed? Oh, yeah, OK. Put me down as buzzed, yeah. All right, guys, this is your first drink. 30 mils of alcohol each. I'll see you in 15 minutes.
Cheers. Cheers.
Good luck.
See you wins.
Although Liam and I will be drinking 1 for 1, our renter party will be staying sober. Four drinks later, and we've reached the government definition of binge drinking.
Okay, what have we got? 22.
It's very good.
I think that's the same as last time.
Our test scores are pretty much the same as when we first started.
Top score again.
But already there's a difference in our perceived energy levels. Liam's have increased,
Say charging.
whereas mine have slipped.
Probably between normal and buzzed.
All right, normal for you.
I think that they're both describing the experience at the moment in positive terms, but what we are seeing with Steve is that he's starting to talk about himself feeling sort of a bit more relaxed, a bit more normal. Are we seeing the start of a little bit of sedation happening with Steve? Time will tell.
2 hours and 8 drinks into the experiment, things start to get interesting.
16. Ready? 48.
Geez, that's bad, isn't it?
Not my best reaction time, and Liam is actually improving. The alcohol looks to be affecting us in different ways.
So, Liam, how are you going?
Charging.
Okay. And Steve, how are you feeling?
I still feel kind of relaxed and chilled, so I'd say normal.
Okay.
Now, they've had 8 drinks, so that's quite a lot of drinks.
Yeah. Steve was feeling a little bit sedated, or he was a bit slower with the ruler, wasn't he?
He certainly was. Whereas Liam's charged. He's really still on top and physically on the go. They're certainly very interesting results.
With our target of 12 drinks down the hatch, we've managed to drag Liam off the dance floor and into our final assessment.
Oh, my God.
I think that's indicative of how Liam's feeling. He wants to keep going.
I just want to keep going. Like, the page is longer, I just keep going.
Yeah.
Pretty close, but again, we've got extra lines. Okay, so how are you feeling now, Liam?
I'm feeling really charged. Like, I really want to go out at the moment. I've got so much energy.
So charging for you then. And what about you, Steve?
I am feeling drowsy, not as energetic as Liam, that's for
So
sure.
the drowsiness is
You know,
there.
if I was in a bad conversation or a bad party, I'd be in a cab.
Drowsy. Okay. Well done, guys. Finish the test. So I'll take these to John to have a bit of a look at, and we'll put you guys in a cab home.
Okay.
I don't want to go home yet. Not yet.
I'm really surprised by that, Liam.
Although we've drunk exactly the same amount of alcohol, I'm ready to blow the final whistle, whereas Liam's keen to play on.
Liam.
Okay,
So what we've got here is a pretty interesting demonstration. Our theory really is that for adolescents, they're likely to be able to drink a lot, but it then is going to begin to have an impact on the brain that they're not aware of because of the fact they can still walk a straight line. So, look, it is a generational issue. We know that we've got a lot of young people who have this ability to drink a lot, and they believe that they're in control because they're not really being stopped by their physical symptoms.
So if I think I push myself to 25, 30 drinks, I'm just going to be at the limit I want to be. I don't think I can drink any more than that amount.
Yeah, I think I could go drink for drink with you for a while, but I reckon my tolerance level, my boredom level, and also I just reckon I'd just go, nah, I'm bailing out on you. I might even do a run on you.
That's all right,
A sneaky.
Steve, mate.
You know those sneaky ones where people just don't even say goodbye?
Yeah, that's
I might
right,
do
mate.
one of those on you. Ugh. Nature has its own way of trying to stop us from drinking too much. It's called a hangover. And while a couple of painkillers and a dark room might help with a headache, the effects of binge drinking can stay with you forever.
Even teenagers aren't immune to the devastation of alcoholism. Drinking alcohol stops being about a fun night when it morphs into a destructive obsession. It's not just about a lack of willpower, there's hard science behind the addiction. Now 23, Christian's building a new life with the help of a rehab facility, but he spent much of his adolescence addicted to alcohol.
Alcohol robbed me of, from the age I was 14 till I was 22. Drinking started off as a lot of fun, as a good weekend thing to do with the friends. As it went on, it became more of a addiction where I wouldn't go out anywhere unless I was drinking.
Although Christian's story seems extreme, many teens are now drinking heavily from an early age. The latest statistics show that nearly a third of 14-year-olds consume 6 alcoholic drinks a week.
I was getting to the point where I was drinking at work. At times I would drink all night. I would wake up, have a couple of hours sleep and drink again just so I could feel good, so I could go to work. Couldn't hold down a job due to my drinking.
Scientists are now beginning to observe a direct link between teen drinking and alcohol use disorders in later life.
Many studies have shown that if you start drinking before the age of 14, you double the likelihood of you having an alcohol problem later in life, such as alcohol dependence.
Boston University conducted a study of over 43,000 adults. They found the younger the respondents were when they began drinking, the greater their likelihood of problems with alcohol in the future.
During adolescence, the brain is a very active place. The neural pathways are rewiring as the adult brain takes shape. If alcohol is being used during this period, it can affect the way the brain develops. The frontal lobes of the brain are responsible for rational, considered decision-making. Scientists believe that if the frontal lobes are damaged in your teens, you're less able to control the impulse to drink as an adult. A lot of the damage associated with heavy drinking can occur during a blackout, an alcohol-induced memory blank. Teens are especially prone to blackouts due to their ability to continue consuming alcohol at levels that would see adults asleep in the corner.
When a blackout occurs, what it means is that the ability of the brain to take a short-term memory and to turn that into a long-term memory has been compromised. And this is associated with damage to the memory systems within the brain.
A blackout's not the same as passing out. Teens can still walk and talk, but they've lost all control. Christian came out of a blackout to find himself in a prison cell. Arrested for a violent attack he can't remember.
I was sitting in a cell with a police officer telling me that I'm looking at going down for murder because I'd physically really bashed someone that much. I blacked out, do not remember it, and put the bloke in a coma. Thank God that he survived, and I thank God that the judge gave me a second chance.
But what about the teens who don't binge drink every weekend? Some adolescents feel they can drink responsibly, and some parents believe the best place to teach moderation is in the home.
Henry could be considered your typical teenager. He's 16 years old, he has the occasional drink, and he's a rock star in training. But just because he's got the look and the sound doesn't mean he'll be trashing a hotel room on a booze bender anytime soon.
I think of myself as a responsible drinker. It's about finding your limit and what you can tolerate, because there's no point drinking more than you can tolerate because it's unhealthy, and most of the time you won't enjoy it.
Having a beer at a family barbecue is something teens have enjoyed for generations, and there's no law stopping them doing it. Many parents think they're helping their teens learn to drink responsibly.
I allow Henry to have a beer occasionally around us because I know I'd rather him understand that it's okay. I mean, I drank when I was 16.
It's better that he understands. You can drink sensibly. I mean, that's the important thing.
But many scientists now believe this socialisation process doesn't work.
There is no evidence that this is a good thing. In fact, quite the opposite. The earlier a child is exposed to alcohol, the more risk later of a series of damages. One is to their actual brain development, another is the risks of mental health problems, drug addiction later in life, and poor cognitive function.
Professor John Curry has been looking into the effects of alcohol on teens for 2 decades. He helped draft the recent federal government guidelines on underage drinking.
Children under 18 years of age should preferably not drink at all, and certainly under 15 years of age, there should not be alcohol given to children, even in this socialising program.
Bye, Mom. See ya. Bye, Dad.
Although Henry considers himself to be a responsible drinker, like many teens, he still binge drinks. And he does it away from his parents' watchful eye at an older friend's house.
Oh, like this?
I have shots nights at my friend's place, and I love them because it's just a great environment.
Cheers, boys.
Every time I've been there, I've had quite a bit of alcohol, and it's all been fun.
It's not just the frequency of binging that's worrying scientists. Every time teens binge, they run the risk of damaging their brains, their memory in particular.
Oh, that's good.
The hippocampus is an area in the brain which is critical for developing memory. It also happens to be an area that is extremely sensitive to the effects of alcohol.
That's why, Particularly in young people, we have so much worry about alcohol affecting the cells in the hippocampus, damaging them, and therefore damaging memory.
Our next experiment is one we hopefully won't forget. Helping to test our memories will be magician and science enthusiast Adam Marder. All three of us have binged in the past, and we've all got different levels of memory recall. But how do we stack up against the statistical norm?
Righto, guys, time to test your memories. I'd like you to remember the colour of this dish and focus on the yellow flames. We have 13 gold coins and 6 chocolate hearts. Say it over in your mind and commit that to memory. You've got it? Perfect.
The experiments we're doing today are illustrating a number of the principles that we use when we're doing formal memory testing.
All right, ready, pay attention as I spread the cards for you.
We'll be showing the participants a range of objects, and we'll do this in a fun way with cards, with coins, with magically appearing objects. And we'll be asking them to store this in memory, consolidate it there, and then pull it out about 30 minutes later. Not long term, not 2 or 3 days, but 30 minutes in active working memory.
Some red liquid and some voodoo. Concentrate on the voodoo doll.
Over the course of 10 minutes, we've been asked to remember 35 different things. My memory's pretty good, but I'm hoping the ghosts of binging past don't come back to haunt me.
And the fish.
After a 30-minute break, it's exam time. We've got to use our working memory to remember all the objects and random sequences we've just been presented with. The exact way in which alcohol damages the brain is uncertain. Many scientists see a transdisciplinary approach, where different fields of science come together with a united cause, as the key to preventing or even reversing alcohol-related brain damage.
Okay, now we've added up all these results and they're interesting. Now, Steve, all of the tests show that you've got absolutely normal results. You were scoring really well on all of those tests. But the guys have got different results. Essentially what we found is that yours was much lower than Steve's performance, and Henrik's was moderately lower compared with Steve's performance.
Of course, this is only a small sample size, and there are lots of reasons why our memories may be different. But the results are indicative of the latest science. A study by the University of Pittsburgh has shown that the hippocampi of heavy drinking teens had actually shrunk by up to 10%. They also found memory recall was 10% less than adult drinkers.
If I keep drinking the way I do, which is a very, very occasional binge, will my memory be affected?
If you keep drinking, we have to look at the immediate effects of each time you drink, and that can cause damage on the spot. And then there's the long-term effects where it gets worse and worse and worse the longer you drink.
Say if I stop binge drinking for a while, how long would it take for me to get more memory back?
When you do stop, there is always the improvement which follows. So you can improve, but the more damage you've done, the harder it is to improve. So what you'd really need to ask is it worth keeping on drinking for all that time before you stop?
While previously we may have thought that teen binge drinking was just youngsters letting off steam, there's now plenty of evidence that there are long-term hazards related to adolescents drinking too much alcohol.
So if we can't binge on booze, then we'll have to overdose on some good, clean fun.
I'm going to now teach you a classic magic effect.
Okay, give me a go.
All right. Yep, and without this sort of flowery movement, you just sort of bang.
That was flowery.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I've got my new party trick. Let's just hope I can remember it.
Beautiful.
Next on Whatever, we're heading under the covers to explore the science of teen sex.
I lost my virginity at like the age of 13, and I've had about 6 or 7 partners.
In a time of technology-driven raunch, teens are rewriting the rules of sex.
The third base is the oral sex, so giving head, getting head, and the fourth is all the way. And that's how you do it, because that's the rules.
And while their bodies suddenly become adult, they're not necessarily in sync with their chief sex organ, the brain.